Hi and welcome back to Paint For You. I'm going to paint a red onion. Don't you just love the color of a red onion? So I'm going to pre-mix some colors first. I left the tag on because I like that. So it's this gorgeous, cool red, and of course I have the highlight on there too. And I put it in a box and I have it lit, as you can tell, so I have a nice shadow behind it. We're going to paint it on a 5x7 Centurion panel. See if I can get you around here. I'll get you over a little bit more. And I'm going to use my view catcher to set up my composition. I did look at it before I stuck the panel up here. I decided to go horizontal. My plan is to include some of the shadow. So the onion will be approximately that size and the shadow behind it. So the first thing I think we'll do before we start mixing some colors is we'll get it sketched on. And we'll sketch it on just with some ultramarine and transparent red oxide, which is a very dark. And for some reason, that's my go-to color. All right, I'm looking through the view catcher and I'm deciding like how high is the onion. I have set this for I think what looks to be approximately a 5x7. I don't have that mark on here, so I kind of have to guess. But I'm holding it out and I'm looking at what I consider to be my whole painting and deciding how high the onion. It's pretty high. Now how far over to the side? About there. How close to the bottom? Pretty close. I mean, it's kind of, which it should. I mean, it's my subject. It's kind of filling the whole space. Let me look again. And the right side, pretty good size. Seems to be about there. You know, we may adjust it, but we'll see. So I'm going to look over and I'm going to actually kind of use straight lines. And the reason behind that is that you don't just mindlessly make a circle. Like first I go from here to here, you know, and you know, of course we'll make it round, but something like that. And the shadow, as I said, runs up and we'll make a foreground and background. Actually, again, I have two shadows, probably because of the ceiling light. Let me switch that off a minute and see. Yeah, see, then that shadow down here goes away when I turn that light off. But it's a little dark for me to paint. So I'm going to turn it back on. We're just going to ignore. I did put, no, I didn't actually this time. I have a screen behind it for some reason. Sometimes I'll put something on top of it to try to block the ceiling light. Let's see if we can maybe do that without. Okay, I put a canvas, a big canvas kind of across the top of it, trying to block that ceiling light. Again, that's, and hopefully we'll like this composition. So the whole shadow, I'm going to switch to a bigger brush. But we're doing not just a sketch, we're trying to do kind of a value sketch here too, to get our darks in. These are water mixable oils, so water cleanup, which is really nice. So that's what I was doing there. And I can thin with a little water if I choose to, but I generally try to stay out of the water. I do have solvent-free liquid here to work with. I went to the grocery yesterday, and it's just kind of a weird time. I have trouble finding a lot of the things I used to buy, and I always buy yellow onions. The only way I could buy yellow onions this time was to buy like 5 pounds, and I didn't want 5 pounds. So I bought this pretty red onion, I thought, which I don't buy those much unless I'm doing like a summer kind of salad. I do a really good salad with corn and black beans and red onion, but I don't buy them much. But I thought, if I'm going to buy it, I'll just paint it. So that's what we're doing. We're painting it. So I'm putting in some of those darks I see on the onion too. So I hope we like this. I'm looking at it. I feel like it's almost too much to one side. So I'm not gonna go on with it. I'm gonna wipe it off. I mean, the shadow hopefully help balance it too. And this is acrylic. This colorful wash is acrylic. So that's what you do. If you don't feel great about your composition, you don't move on with it. And I did that a lot years ago. I'd put a lot of time in the sketch, and then you just didn't want to wipe it off. All right, let's do it again. I'll just use the bigger brush this time, the one that I'm playing around with here. All right, let's look at this again. So, you know, we're going to do something different maybe. I'm in a little tighter now. So the onion's going to cover more of it. You know, it's a red onion. Who can say exactly, you know, what the shape is, whether it's wrong or it's right? If you, in your painting, you know, it's a onion. They're basically round, but that's like, you know, if you're into landscapes and you do trees, who can argue that your tree's wrong, you know, unless they were there? So that feels better. I mean, it's about the onion, and I just think I just had it too far off to the left. So it took a moment. It's worth rethinking, and regardless, if you're a watercolorist and you put a lot of time on your sketch, don't go forward if it doesn't feel good to you. So I think we'll bring you over, and we're going to mix up some color. Tilt you down. Let me lower you down a little bit. Well, you know, what color is a red onion? I have 2 reds on here because I tend to work with a limited palette. Ultramarine, Cobalt, Cad Yellow Medium, Lemon, White, Cad Red Light, and Crimson. That's my basic palette. I do have Transparent Red Oxide. That's from the other day, a little Phthalo Blue. I do like Indian Yellow too. So of the 2 reds, quite obviously it's a cool red. So let's put some crimson out there. But as I look over there, nothing on the onion. Maybe a little bit of it, but most of it is not, you know, pure like that. Okay, definitely some of it is darker and cooler. So we'll put some blue into some of it. That would probably be our darkest areas on the onion. You know, and you can do what the heck you want. I mean, this is your painting. Things need to be interesting. So, for example, we may even take some of this warm red and mix it in. We might want some of that. You know, make it interesting. Take a little bit of it. Put a little white in some of it, which pulls it very pink. Let's cool it off a little bit. I could use either blue probably. So kind of a purpley color. You know, I'm just trying to give myself options, you know, lots of options. So Gwynette's very warm, that's the pure crimson, that's very dark. We'll take some of it and just lighten it a little bit. We'll try different things. And if you were going to gray some of it, okay, this is the pure color. What would you use? You would use your other two primaries, which is green, right? So maybe we want to even gray a little bit of it. You know, but keep it. It's a strong color, so it's going to stay red. Try a little white in there. You know, I just again, giving myself lots of options. This actually warm color below the highlight, I do kind of see it gets much warmer there. And we can intermix these and blend these, and of course the highlight will be much lighter. And actually up around the stem, I do see a lighter mauve-y kind of color. So we'll mix up some of that. You know, you just can't make too many different colors and different options for yourself. If you don't use them, you don't use them. I think it's fun to pre-mix. Not everybody does. I haven't always. But I like doing it, so usually I do. All right, now we could start any place we wanted over there. We could start with the lightest part, the darkest part. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You could just block in the whole onion in the general color. Some people do that. You know, take a mid value and block in the whole thing. Then come back and introduce lights and darks. However you want to go, right? I'm going to start with that really dark that I mixed up, which is blue and crimson. And put that where I see there's even a bit of a stem sticking down there. I'm probably just going to be jumping around, just, you know, instinctively working. This to me looks a little warmer in this area. And we'll think about that texture of that onion too. But I've got some pretty colors here, you know. I've made some purples and this is a really dark gray color that I put green in. I'm taking it to the shadow side, I think, mostly. Like that kind of mauve color that we made. And that might be good, you know, for some of the highlights. I have watched people work that just mix every color So they make many, many, many colors. You know, every little area they shift, and I don't know. That up there is a bit warmer, so I warmed it up. I have a commission going right now that I'm working on, but we're just taking a little break from it. Painting someone's backyard. Beautiful, beautiful backyard. "16 by 20, so it's, you know, I do a lot of the smaller stuff, so that's the size they wanted. It's different to work larger, you know, than 8 by 10. I'm trying to stay painterly because that's what they want, but I have to think more about it. I'm even going to make some yellow and red, just some pure orange, in case I want to use it some places too. So, right there it is. So, this over here is really warm. Again, I could have, and I have done that before, we could have just blocked in the whole shape, you know, with, again, a mid-tone color, and come back with lights and darks. I think it's kind of a simple way. I think Helen Van Wyck did that frequently. If you watch her old videos, she would just kind of mass in the whole shape. I'm sure not always, though. You know, when I say this stuff, people don't always work the same. I don't work the same every time. I'm saving the highlight for later. Bought the cutest little vintage dress online. If you follow me on Facebook, I just showed it on there a little bit ago. It kind of reminds me of something I would have worn in high school. Opened the garage door to leave yesterday, and only had it open a few minutes, and there was a hummingbird looking in there, checking things out. It's like, don't go in there. They go after, you know, that red thing that opens, that releases the door. We've had him trapped in before, so I ran him off. I did not want him in there. going Saturday, tomorrow, to photograph my nephew who's a fireman. I'm excited about that. We'll be doing a show. I know it seemed a long way off, next March on service people, you know, people in the service industry. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hoping to get some really good reference photos of him. The highlight is mauve. As I look at it, it is sure not pure white. And you know, it's determined by the light. I have a round light on it, so lighter in the middle. We'll try that. I kind of like that mauve kind of color over there, so I might darken a little bit in there, but I want to keep it. Seeing it up on top there too. Let's block the background in, and then we can think more about the onion. And it's a cardboard box. It could be any color I wanted, but which is mostly a yellow color. And of course we have a shadow. Well, let's put the shadow in there first. Which again, it's on the box, so I'm thinking about the color of that. The commission that I'm doing, I did tone it in these same colors because he has a few of my paintings, and I did that in those, so hopefully he'll be good with that. This seems to be the lightest part. Okay, I think the shadow feels a little too warm. Well, I was trying to warm that up a little bit. And then let's go a little lighter. This might have been interesting to have even pulled off some of the peel, you know, and laid a piece of that down here. Now that I didn't do it, but I think it might have been. So if you do a red onion, you might consider that. All right. I kind of wish I had brought some Q-tips in, and I could have wiped off this area where the tag's gone. Approximately there. And it's mostly yellow. I think I'm going to try a palette knife. Whoa. I think we'll take a little brush, help ourselves out here. Probably should buy some more teeny tiny artist brushes. I don't use them that much, and everything I have is kind of ratty. Trying to put a shadow behind it. And the tag's on, you know, on top, so we could add more texture, make it more three-dimensional. And I'm looking around for any highlights that I might have missed. I will try to remember today to put that mat around this painting. I forget it most of the time, as you know. I need you here to yell at me, don't I? I watch a gal that mostly works in pastels on Friday do live demos. Maria Bagetta, something like that. Even though I don't work in pastels, I just, you know, I like demos. And she, at the end, almost always puts a matte on, and I don't know, I kind of look forward to that part of it. You know, it kind of really cleans it up, and you can see where it's going, what it might look like framed. You might hear my husband mowing. I think he started mowing out there. It was cute. I went out before I came in here the time I was coming in, and he was out there. He'd eaten lunch, and he'd fallen asleep out there with Chip Ahoy cookies, and his pack was hanging out of his hand. Can't believe he didn't drop them. He'd shoot me for telling you that. What you gonna do? Okay, I'm looking, I want this line to be in line with that line. I wasn't sure it was. Wait a minute. I'm behind the camera like always, so things are, I'll get it. If I have to put it on end, I can check that, if it matters that much to me. Now, when it's wet like this, I have the option, I could sign it, I can scratch my name in, which occasionally I do that. We'll try to sign it. If I don't like the signature, then I will take it off and, you know, wait till it's dry or scratch it in. Again, my brushes are not great. I know an oil painter used to write hers on with some kind of paint marker. Yeah, we may have to wait because I'm not liking this. That's approximately it, but that's messy, so we're going to wipe it off. It's just try again later. Again, this line may be off, but so hopefully, even though the background is the same color, hopefully with the pink and the orange showing through, that adds some interesting element. All right, I'm getting the mat. Ta-da! I remembered. I may have to back you up anyway. It just really cleans it up, I think. Gives you an idea what it would look like framed. So I think it's there. I'll have to look at it some more and decide. I'm not concerned about that horizontal line at all. I can take it off and flip it on end. You know, and get it straight. So see, I can stand it up like that and get it figured out. So I will. That'll be the next thing I do. All right, thank you for joining me. It was about 40 minutes, and kind of nice to work small, isn't it? It's quickly. As I'm looking at it here, I may still yet cool that shadow off a bit more. I feel it's still pretty warm. So I'm thinking I may do that. I'm not sure. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed watching. Just an onion, but kind of fun because there's still a lot going on there. So hopefully it reads like a red onion. All right, catch me next time. Like and subscribe, please, if you haven't, and that way you'll know when I post again. Okay, catch you soon. Stay well.